10, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
That's the money range. All right.
Let's go.
Well, gotta get some jokes out because presented by Under Armour. Welcome to Light Years. Andy Liu, the Warriors lose 128-109 to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I don't even know that we need to talk about it in that much detail. Like, it's just disgusting. Draymond officially suspended 5 games. They don't have their best offensive player, Steph Curry. They don't have their best defensive player, Draymond Green. They look like a total clown show. They look like a...
Yeah.
I don't know who the best player in this draft is. Word is this is not a good draft. And it doesn't matter because they don't have their pick anyway. So, but they look like a team. They look like a team who's playing for the top pick without those two. That's my take.
Yep.
Frustrating. 6-7 now. A week ago, we're talking title. Now I'm sitting here going, hopefully they don't gift the top pick to Portland or whoever owns their pick right now.
Yeah, okay, let's not go that far. Let's not doomsday that far. I'm with you on how bad they looked. I actually think this team does have a lot of fight in them. I think a lot of the issue with some of this is it feels like there's not a lot of urgency right now with this team. It feels like they're coming into these games and going, yeah, we're just kind of do what we're going to do. Maybe we'll make a lineup change. Maybe we'll just put Sarge in there and spread the floor a little bit and kind of we'll just figure it out from there. But Sam, I don't understand how you don't go into these games. And here's the example that I'm going to go with right off the bat. And they lose this game anyway, I think, if he comes in earlier. But it's the mindset to me. I don't understand how last season you play Anthony Lamb all season. And then in the postseason, he's immediately benched and Moses Moody plays 20-plus minutes a game in the postseason. Immediately, right? Based on nothing on the court. And then you come into this season and you do the exact same thing. And you play a guy, Corey Joseph, objectively terrible. An awful basketball player. And he's playing over Moses Moody off the bat.
Hit a nice shot in the third quarter, though.
Three, baby. Bang three. and again, I'm not saying that they win the game if Moses Moody plays. I'm just saying, why not come into these games with more urgency and just play the guy that's better, right? And the same will go for Clay, Wiggins, blah, blah. I'm choosing that example, Sam, because though that mistake right there is one that we've seen over and over and over and over. Why do we see it again?
You know the answer. Politics. It's politics. It's favoring the veteran over the young guy. It's, we can't possibly bench Clay or Wiggins. They're veterans. They're champions. They've done this. I'm not even saying that my implication is not that they should be benched. It's that I know at no point does anyone question the idea that you should do anything different.
Yeah.
They signed Corey Joseph, who Steve Kerr wanted to sign.
Yep.
Let's be abruptly clear about that. That was his guy. I don't know if the front office wanted to sign him. And, he's getting minutes because he was his guy. And he is not a better player than Moses Moody. And maybe the organization should feel a little stronger about playing Moses Moody in those situations. But it comes back to, it feels like he's coaching the team as if it was, 5 years ago.
Yep.
You play your veterans, you play your dudes, and it's not that roster. And we're going to get into it, but man, Clay, you probably should have took whatever they were offering you in the offseason. It's not getting better, Andrew Wiggins.
5 turnovers. And they were all worse than the other. Keep going.
I mean, it's a laundry list of grievances, so we can go through it, but it's Clay looks old. He looks like he can't get separation. He looks like a role player. He looks like Danny Green. He looks like Miami Ray Allen. And honestly, is it the worst thing in the world if that's where he is in terms of his career? Being realistic. But I don't think he accepts it. I think at this stage of his career, he's never going to make another All-Star team. I know he wants to. I don't think it's happening. I think he can have a 30-point game here or there, but he's never going to be another. It's done. Done. And then Andrew Wiggins, on top of that, like, I almost get more frustrated by him because he didn't have both of his legs shredded to pieces. He's 28 years old. Not a reason for him to forget how to shoot the ball. To your point, 5 turnovers. He figured something out in terms of attacking, but can't shoot the ball. Looks limited. Looks like a head case half the times he plays. Part of me wonders, like, I don't know. It's we have to pretend whatever the fuck happened last year is normal. It wasn't, you know? And it's just like one of those things where I'm just like, is it insane to wonder if 2022 was just a blip on the radar and this is kind of who he is, you know?
Which is, you know, honestly, if that's the case, you know, I'll take it because it's a championship. If it ended in a Western Conference Finals appearance, I'd be like, dude, you know what I mean? That sounds terrible, but at least that ended in a championship. I'm going to talk about Wiggins a little more because I kind of feel bad for Klay. It looks like he's gone. The legs are gone. He can't dribble. He's going out of bounds. Shots aren't even close. Looks like it's gone. I think once Draymond comes back, I'm sure he'll be better. He'll be fine. But Wiggins is, dude, brother, he's dribbling into guys that can't defend and getting picked. He's dribbling into blocks. His 3-point shot is hitting the side of the backboard or the side of the rim. And the comments are perfect because somebody mentioned that he's just in his prime and this is what he looks like versus Klay, injuries, etc. Right? This is in his prime.
Our group chat said he was seeing 3 rims, making fun of LeBron. And I'm not discounting the fact that he might need to see an optometrist. Like maybe he needs glasses. Like that's how bad the shot looks right now. That's how bad it looks. Like I've gone from mocking it to like, what if he needs to, you know, I remember failing a driving test because of my eyes, and then I found out I needed glasses. You know, like maybe Wiggins needs some glasses. I don't know. Like that's like it's gone from feeling angry to like I don't know what's up on that front.
Yep.
And to your point, he's driving because he can't shoot the ball, and that doesn't work. Like how many players in the NBA can just nobody respects their jumper and they just live off their ability to drive? Like, I don't know, Giannis, LeBron, probably a couple others I'm not thinking of off the top of my head right now. Like, it's not a sustainable way to play. Andrew Wiggins can't play that way. You know, he has to be able to hit the open jumper. And the funny thing is he has for 3 years. That's always been the thing with the Warriors where, all right, you're not the man, you play off ball. He's a 40+% shooter from the corner. Like he can stick a catch and shoot 3. You know, like you're not Klay, you're not Steph in terms of coming off of screens and shooting all the time. But like he can, if his feet are set, he can hit a shot, and currently can't.
It's 13 games now, right? It's 13 games. They're 6-7. It's been 13 games. They've played nothing but home games. It's not like they're playing an incredible defensive team, Sam. Watching OKC, did you think that they're an incredible defensive team?
The worst part about this game was OKC played like a title-level team with no focus because they knew if they locked in for 2 minutes, they could put the Warriors away.
And they did, which they did.
There was a moment in the third quarter where the Warriors mounted what we like to call a fake comeback, right? And they get it to 7. Kuminga streaking down the court for a fast break layup. Quintessential, like we're lazily not engaged in the game type of play, right?
Yep.
Dagenau, who I kind of like him as a coach because that's who just. I mean, he's not Spoelstra, but he does kind of like a Spoelstra impression.
Well, yeah,
but you know what I mean, like just walking up and down the sideline, like actively engaged in the game at all times. The minute he saw his team falling asleep, he's like, "Timeout! I'm out." You know,
we'll get to this, but yeah, what was Steve Kerr doing?
Yeah, timeout. lit into them a little bit, and the game was over. That timeout ended the game. Literally, and I don't need to be in the huddle to know he literally just lit his team up and went, we should be up by 20. You're not engaged in this game. This is their B squad. Half these guys would not play on this team. What are you doing? And then what do the Thunder come out and do? They come out and just thrash the Warriors, because all of what I just said now is true. Without Steph Curry, without Draymond Green, the Warriors are a limited squad who needs to play smarter than them. And that's what it comes down to right there. And you know, credit to him, because another coach might have let the Warriors come back into the game. And, you know, next thing you know, it's a tie game and momentum swung. And, you know, all our homies in Patagonia vests courtside are cheering the Warriors on, and it turns into something that way. But it's like, you know, the minute you see that play happen, call timeout, let them know it's not going to happen, put them away, and be done with it. And that was the game right there.
It's a rough watch. They're not good enough. OKC, before we get, I know we got some topics to move on. We'll talk about OKC for a second, Sam. Can I say that it's going to be interesting to see them figure out. I think that they're probably going to either need to move Jalen Williams or Josh Giddey. And I think it's fascinating, because I think this game kind of doesn't matter, because they kind of did whatever they wanted. I mean, Jalen Williams got an open shot every time. Giddey got an open shot every time. But I think, like,
if the tactical adjustments of how you handle Dario Saric makes you have bigger problems. Yeah, I agree.
And so I think I'm curious. Again, I'm just thinking long term. Whatever. They'll be a fun team this season. They'll be a first round team. Maybe they'll probably lose in the first. Maybe they'll be a second round team, right? And they'll lose there. But it's a fascinating team that I think, in theory, there's a ton of talent. But I'm just not sure how it fits when you, I think, kind of need the ball a lot in Jalen Williams' hands if you think he's going to be a superstar. And sometimes I watch the game tonight and I'm like, man, he's got a ton of talent. He might be like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He is kind of like Shai, like one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
that's what I'm saying.
I think they're in a. How familiar is this? Because it's like when they had Russ, KD, and Harden, where you're just like, that's a lot of talent, like objectively. And Ibaka, like that's a lot of talent in house, but I don't know how you're gonna make this work. How are people gonna be happy in these situations? And everyone knows how that played out, right? It's kind of like the same thing in some ways. Like maybe not as luxurious, maybe not, like I don't know. That team went to the finals and they were all 21 years old. Like that's insane, right?
So like maybe it's them now. Maybe it's them this season. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of similar, right? But it's like the same thing. The only thing I'll say is they have 5,000 picks, and like it's better to be in that position where you're like, we have to trade one of the like watching the Warriors. I'd rather have their problems than our problems right now.
if and it's not going to happen, but let's say Giannis, who's just signed an extension, asks out, right? Let's say for some reason he asks out tomorrow. The grandfather offer that the OKC can put together is just give him four first round picks or six first round picks.
We still have 18. We still have 18 more.
Exactly, and just throw in Jalen Williams, who another team's version of Jalen Williams is probably the Warriors' version of Jalen Williams is Jonathan Kuminga, and Jalen Williams is 5 times better, right? So no other team can put together a package like that.
It's Kuminga and Podziemski combined. Yeah,
as a player, because Jalen Williams can actually dribble, right? So,
well, I mean, he's just proven it at a higher level. He's proven it on a playoff team as a rookie, you know, like or playing team.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, you just watch him. He's better. Yes. Just watch him. He's better. That's it. It's very simple. There's no proof. Just watch Jalen Williams. He can dribble into a mid-range jump shot. He's quicker. He's faster. He's got a better feel for the game. Like it's just obvious, right? And the thing is, Kuminga played well tonight. You just watch him. You're just like, I don't know, man. 4 turnovers, and I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah,
fine. He was fine. Tonight's not the night to do the Kuminga thing. So we'll keep it moving. Whatever your next topic is, we'll go there.
I should have put money on Kuminga tonight on Sleeper, if I'm being honest with you. It seemed like an obvious bet to make, but I didn't do it.
That would have been the move. That would have been the move. Do you want me to get into that one? All right. Let Yours podcast brought to you by Sleeper Fantasy. If you think you know basketball, like Sam does, that you could try to turn your basketball knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other daily fantasy app, just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code LIGHTYEARS, and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for detail. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
So, pregame, Steve Kerr discussed the Draymond Green suspension. He, in no less words, said, took it too far. Should, like, basically threw Draymond under the bus. Said, can't do that. What are you doing? And I guess my question for you is, are you mad at Draymond at this stage? Because I can make a strong case for you. This team should have been 8-4. They were 6-6 entering this game. They lost 2 games where Draymond got thrown out. Both those games they absolutely could have won. We feel a lot different about this team if they're 8-4 and playing OKC, even without Steph Curry. With Draymond Green, maybe they win, maybe they don't. But, like, objectively, the mood is better than 5th straight loss, 6-7. I don't need to explain it to you. Like, all those things kind of come together. And, I can drink the Kool-Aid and I can say, let's get everyone healthy. They'll be fine because they still got Steph, who's one of the best players in the world, maybe the best. And they still got Draymond, who's defensive anchor. But they don't have him right now, and he's out for 5 games. Are you mad? Where are you at with this?
I think if you are mad about Draymond, you only get to blame yourself. You should be mad at yourself because I think this goes for the Warriors organization. If you guys are mad at Draymond about this, you only have yourself to blame. Draymond is Draymond. He is who he is. You guys have said it to us multiple times that you guys always say Draymond is Draymond. You don't get to be mad when he does some shit like this and then gets suspended 5 games, because you and I sat here and we didn't even need to do a reaction pod because we sat here and said, yeah, he's going to get suspended 5 to 8 games.
How many how many times have we done that reaction pod?
I mean, at least 6, right? I mean, you just every time.
At least 6 in the last 6 months. So,
we were saying 5 is the minimum. And you got out here people were like, 2 or 3. I'm like, 2 or 3? What the? So
2 or 3 sounds great.
Yeah, I know, right? 2 or 3 sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I think you can only be mad at yourself, Sam. How can you be mad at Draymond? I mean, sure you can, but that's your own fault. This is not the first time.
Yeah, I mean, what tonight shows me is, for all this 2 timeline talk, for all this, we're going to do all this different stuff and build a sustainable team and everything. This team is a 2 team. There's only 2 players. There's only 2 people who matter in this organization right now. Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Steph is one of the 10 best basketball players of all time. You and I will say one of the 3 best basketball players of all time, but it doesn't really matter. The point is he's an all-timer in a way that's very hard to replicate in any way. Like, OKC is talented. I'd love to have 8 players that OKC put out there. None of them will be Steph Curry,
Yep.
And Draymond Green, underrated historically, one of the best defensive players of all time, and just an all-time winner when he's locked in that certain way. And it's like, Steve Kerr's a great coach. It doesn't really matter if he didn't have one of those guys on the court.
Yep.
And the rest of the roster, I liked what I saw from Pods. I liked what I saw from Moody. I liked a few things here and there, but, like, none of that matters without those guys. Yep. That's kind of what it is. Like they made all these draft picks. Some of them will be fine players. None of them will matter in the context of being cornerstone players right now. And that's the problem. They thought they were drafting the next. I like Kuminga more than you do. I think we both like Moses Moody. I don't think either of us would lie to ourselves to be like, well, there you go, next Draymond and Steph.
Well, it might be Podziemski. And you won that one. That was a quick win for you. Very, very quick. We're not even halfway through the season. Very quick win. Because I wasn't sold on him based on nothing. I don't watch him at all. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if there's a trade at the trade deadline for someone that's an impact player and the other team says, okay, but we need Kuminga, I don't think Mike Dunleavy's he's not hanging up the phone, right? He's putting him on speaker and going, hey, yeah. Joe, get in here. Get in here. We got
they're not asking for Wemby or Chet. To your point,
exactly.
Right?
Or even Jalen Williams. I keep throwing him up tonight, because we watched him and I kind of like him. But let's say the Warriors have Jalen Williams, right? Like I think he
solves a lot of their problems, to be honest.
Sure, and I think he'd be off limits. I think he'd be off. I think they wouldn't trade him because that kid looks like he's ready to hoop, and that's not the case with the other guys. Two of them are already gone, Wiseman and Poole, and yeah, which is funny because as the NBA changes, as this team changes in the next 4 years, it does feel like Steph and Draymond are just going to be the most important guys no matter what, which is, I mean, great for those two guys, but maybe not great for the team, right? Maybe not great moving forward if those two guys are still your guys, main guys. They need something from someone else.
Let's talk about a little positivity before we get to the goons.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Pods looks good. I mean, Pods and Moody played 23, 24 minutes each. It's pretty hard to deny that they shouldn't be playing more minutes at this point. Like, they're both playing better basketball than Clay and Wiggins. They're more dynamic. They play better on both sides than those guys. They've also played smarter than both those guys. Like, the thing that's saddest about Clay is he wants to play like he's still the dude he was 5 years ago, but he's not as quick. He can't get a shot off the same way. And he hasn't accepted who he is, you know?
Yeah.
He'll always get guarded because if you don't guard him, he'll hit it. Like, that's never changing. Like, he could be 40 and he'll still beat you in a shooting contest, right? And then Wiggins can't shoot the ball. Like, what are we talking about there? So I don't know. That's
okay.
Kind of...
Yeah, I'm with you because we did the Clay and Wiggins stuff, right? I think maybe I'll push back on the defense part. I think Clay and Wiggins are pretty much a lot better than Pods and Moody. But to keep on the optimistic side, though, I'm going to go with Moses Moody first.
Okay.
Because the kid can shoot the hell out of the ball, and it doesn't really make sense to me that on a team right now that can't shoot the ball, why he can't get 15 minutes in the first half, right? Nobody on this team can shoot. And okay, you bring up politics, right? This team is 6-7. Corey Joseph, you got to sit the fuck down. This team is 6-7. Andrew Wiggins, if you're gonna have to, actually, I don't even know if it's Andrew Wiggins because I actually feel like he's playing better than Clay. Clay, you got to sit, right? Okay, we're not gonna bench you, but you just gotta sit. And Clay tonight,
27 minutes, maybe it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, and 27 minutes tonight was a bit of a blowout. So in a real game, right, he probably still plays 33, but that 33 probably needs to be 27, right? In a real game, because Moses Moody's 23 minutes tonight is only 23 because it was a blowout by the end. So I think how can you possibly say to yourself in the mirror, Steve Kerr and this coaching staff, that they can't shoot? It's been over 10 games. Right, but he's the guy. Is he not the best guy in the league in terms of this is how I handle personalities? Would you rather have Steve Kerr handling this or who's the guy like Mark Daigneault? Actually, I'll throw Mark Daigneault because he's never dealt with real personalities before. He's got a team full of young kids.
He's a very good coach. Right. He's doing a good job, but it's a completely different type of job.
It's a different game, right? Who would I rather have? I'd rather have Steve Kerr, but Steve, come on. This actually, as I talk through it, this actually is probably what Bob Myers is referring to. That Bob Myers didn't want to deal with the contract negotiations. He didn't want to be the guy that looked Clay in the eyes and said, "Look, man, you're done. You're getting $22 million, and that's it, right? And we're walking away if you're not taking it." I think
22. I know you just threw a number out there, and I know you didn't. It doesn't matter, but it's like, I think your point stands. I think let's walk through this. Bob did not want to look Clay in the eye and say, "I know you gave your legs for this franchise. I know you won 4 of them, but you're not that guy. And I'm not just going to give you a legacy contract for fuck's sake. We're not the San Francisco Giants."
All right, relax.
I'm in a bad mood on baseball, so I got to get that one in there right now. I think you're right, honestly. Like, it's not much more complicated than that. They're not. This is where we're going with it. Like, the chat says 12 million good faith. I don't know what the number is, but I'll put it this way: Bojan Bogdanovic got 20. Bogdan Bogdanovic gets like 18. That's more the level of player he is right now than arguing that he's like with the Paul George, Jalen Williams, and like those guys have their own issues, but like that caliber of like a 1B wing.
Yeah. And I think Steve Kerr, I don't know if I can blame him for not having that conversation because they've been through so many wars together. So maybe now I'm stepping back a little bit, and you can have that argument with Wiggins too. But how did we end up here? I was trying to talk Moses Moody and Podziemski, and I just ended up here. Man, it's just, this team is, every time you think about it, they're 6-7, they're 6-7 with these guys giving D-level games all season. And you say 8-4 with those guys. Man, what if those guys were playing at a B level? What is this team's record? It's just so.
Yeah, I mean, the season's long. You could convince yourself all it takes is guys starting to hit shots and Steph and Draymond being in lineup, and next thing you know, they're 10 and they're going on a 10-2 streak or something like that. Like, this is all possible. But man, doesn't feel that good. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. What do you think about Kuminga tonight?
I thought he played well relative to expectations. I think if you let him be a slashing, attacking 4, he's going to be effective at it. It wasn't perfect. He turned the ball over a little more than I'd like. Could have been a little more impactful on defense, but like, he is an athlete. He can take advantage of certain matchups there. This entire game felt like the young guys are better than the old guys at this stage. But I also am watching it. I'm sitting here. I'm going like, if you throw a lineup of Podziemski, Moody, and Kuminga out there, you're going to suck too.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
So it's like,
right.
I think that's where it's tricky.
How can you balance it? And that's Steve's job. How can you balance it so that Moses Moody isn't playing 12 minutes, right? How can you make sure
let me ask you this, because I think you agree with me. Moody, Podziemski, and Kuminga were the 3 most positive impact players from tonight's game. Forget the result, forget anything. They definitely played better than the veterans. They all walked away with this game where you're like, there was something interesting there. What is a lineup of Steph, those 3 guys, and Draymond?
Ooh,
mediocre, probably, right? Because they're too young. Any game. You know what I mean? Like, please play Saturday stuff. You know, that's where I'm at.
And by the way, GP2 is foot, so we didn't even talk about that. It looks like he's going to be out a little while. It's not a broken bone, but it's a sprain. Yeah,
not great.
Yeah.
Should we get to the goons?
All right, let's get to the goons. Before we do that, we got a couple guys that we're going to talk about. Light Years Podcast brought to you by Under Armour, Curry Brand. Steph Curry makes you believe that you can do anything, and the Curry 11s are specifically designed with ultimate bounce, grip, and stability to allow everyone to do their thing. New generations of ball players are coming up, showing the basketball world that the old rules do not apply. The future is exciting, fast, positive, and hungry. This NBA season, rock with your favorite player, our favorite player, and rep his shoes on and off the court. Steph's 11th signature shoe steps into the second decade of his sneaker career, pulling colorful inspiration from the wonders of a positive and modernized future on and off the court, so you can take these kicks with you when you leave the scrimmage and rep UA wherever you go. It actually has UA Warp Tech. What the hell is that? So that actually makes the shoe feel like it was designed for your feet. Locked in no matter what you do on the court, stopping your tracks with dual density UA flow cushioning and traction. Curry 11s, perfect for both the committed and casual ballers. So do your thing, change the game. The Curry 11 Future Curries is available now at Curry Brand. Just got mine. We're locked in. All right, next one up, we've got Manscaped. Manscaped. Ready to spice up your Thanksgiving? It's coming up next week as we dive headfirst into mountains of mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce. Let's talk about the unsung hero of the holiday season, the Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. That's right. It's time to go cold turkey on your old razor and take care of your own turkey leg with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Visit Manscaped and use code LIGHTYEARS for 20% off, free shipping. Enjoy Thanksgiving in style with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Gobble, gobble, boys. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LIGHTYEARS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use code LIGHTYEARS. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all. From Manscaped, your balls will thank you. I love that one. It's my favorite one. Wow, we got a lot of goons. Let's roll.
We do.
To the goons.
Got Gio up here.
My favorite. All right, let's see what
we got. Am I clear?
You're good, yeah.
Give it to us.
All right. Yeah, so like Andy said, right? Like I feel like no urgency from like anyone, the coaching staff, like the front office, really. Like it's just weird. Like today, like going in, like you punt early you play Kojo over Moody. Like who's like, are you building towards something? Are you trying to build towards something like that matters the next 30 games? And I'm just annoyed I just seeing that. That's my take. I'm just annoyed. Like, are they building towards positive things? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like that point.
Appreciate you, Gio. I can't argue with that. I mean,
I can't argue with that.
A lot of Corey Joseph. A little too much.
Hey. Can we read this Warriors Muse stat in the comment? I freaking love this.
Yeah. Here's that. Warriors 4-guard lineup. Corey Joseph, Brandon Pajemski, Gary Payton II, and Klay Thompson. 3 minutes and 37 seconds, 14 possessions, outscored 15-5, 11% effective field goal percentage, 100% opponent field goal percentage. What was Steve cooking? I mean, shout out to our guy Manu, the best.
That's so good.
Some of the lineup combinations are just infuriating. It's very, very hard not to go into like, what's wrong with Steve, that sort of thing. When you see this sort of stuff, it's
also, Steve, why is he like bringing in subs every 5 minutes? Bro, can you just let Kuminga play the whole first quarter after he scored 8 points? I'm not saying he's not saying he's freaking.
Does it not feel like? Did not feel like he's trying to do anything to get Klay going? Because the whole like Klay is at the 4. We're doing all this stuff to get Klay open. It's kind of sad, honestly. Like I don't. It's. My man's about to.
Let's go.
I know you don't want it, but I'm pulling up the trade machine. I'm putting Klay in it.
you doing it right now?
Nah,
Oh,
not
okay.
gonna
I was
not
gonna
gonna do it
say.
right now. It's
10 p.m.
it's
on a Thursday
November.
night.
It's November 16th. It's 10 p.m. We'll be woken up at 5. It's not happening right now.
We got to get you some sleep. Let's rip through these callers, huh?
But does it not? But does it not feel like we all know where the Clay thing is? I'm not saying they trade him, but like it's over.
Yeah, it's over. I might cry a little bit. You might see it. Like it is over. I actually tweeted it, and I really hate doing that. It hurts.
He can help. He can't be the man. As soon as he accepts that, everything will be okay. You know? Like, I think Clay can legitimately be a great role player for the remainder of his career. But is he ready to accept that he's not the star yet? You know? I think if I wanted to make one case in Steve's favor, he's trying to respect his dude a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Hey, man. It's at some point you got to change it up, and maybe they'll wait till they're 6-10.
Maybe it's maybe that's how you get there. Maybe way you get there is let Clay come to you and be like, I don't have it anymore. I know who I am now.
Yep.
You know, like he's not an idiot. He has pride because he's an ultimate competitor, but he's not an idiot. You know. So I don't know. We'll see. But like, it's very clear that there's tension there. So, all right, keep moving. You will not hear this show disrespect.
Like 20 people in line.
You're not. Sorry, if you want to come on here and talk about how much you hate Clay, it's not happening. This is not the show to call into for that. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. You give up multiple legs, hang in for the team for 12 years, show you a little respect. But don't take those shots, please.
Yo.
What's up, Matthew?
Yo. Quick. I'll just do a quick hitter for you. Out of the original 4 from the Dynasty, my camera's messed up. Who is the least serious? We know Steph is the most serious out of the 4 from the original 4, but Steve, Clay, and Draymond. I think Clay is not. Clay's at least trying. I think he's just pressing. But Draymond, it's like stupid stuff. It's like, come on, man, be serious. Like, be a serious teammate, honestly. And then with Kerr, it's like, be a serious coach. And you know, you mentioned politics, but like, this is the same dude that started Harry B over Andre Iguodala. At some point, like, I get that you have a better relationship with these guys, but politics can't play.
Yeah, but that's like a signature move. That's not a good example of bad coaching on his behalf.
Yeah, but anyways, between the 3, who do you think is the least serious? Later.
It's a tough one because I want to say Draymond because he just does the most immature shit of the bunch. Clay's not an immaturity issue. I just don't know if he physically can do it anymore, right? Draymond, it's like I can do it, but I kind of just want to see what I can get away with.
Okay,
and like the only thing I'll put that, but it's like, but at the same time, in a big game, there's no one more serious than Draymond. So it's like it's a tough call.
All 3 guys are just who they are. That's the crazy part, right? They just are who they are. Clay's always been the guy that's trying to shoot out a slump. Draymond's always been the guy that toes the line. Steve Kerr's always a guy that's way more principled than he should be instead of being more flexible with what he wants and how he feels about how basketball should be played, right? But I think, Sam, because of what you said right there, that Draymond's the best player out of those, the most impactful guy. Like, he's the most serious. And then I think you've got Clay and Steve probably fighting out for being unserious. And honestly, I probably think Steve Kerr's the most unserious because Steve Kerr is the guy that's been looking at these problems for over a year. He had this issue a year before the championship, ran into these issues. He had these issues last year, and now he's running into these issues again. Doesn't seem like he's changing much. At least you can argue with Clay that he just tore both legs. and he's like 30-some. Steve's like 60, man. You've been through a lot in the NBA. You telling me you don't know how to fix this, or at least try? You're not even trying. So I'd go with Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Unserious
Guy. This is we got a regular coming up here.
Who we got? Uh-oh. Okay, let's go.
What's up, man?
You are muted.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, man?
Okay. First off, Sam, condolences. Fuck the A's ownership. Fuck them to death. I hear what you're saying about Kerr being like the most unserious. Yeah. I just like, especially watching this game, my like one pushback on like, especially on the Corey Joseph minutes is like, Steph is out. CP3 is like at this point really like the only true ball handler that they really have available at this point. And then GP2 goes down. Like, yes, I agree. Moody should have played a lot more, especially at the beginning. But I mean, I'm kind of at the place where what is he like really supposed to do? I don't think the answer was play Lester Quinones, the dude who couldn't even score in garbage time. When the team is right. You know what I mean? Like he played once in the Phoenix game, and then they were like, yep, nope, shutting that shit down. And he didn't play again until people started getting injured. So like, I agree. Like I would have liked to see less of him. Like Moody still got his minutes. And then like, you know, we're doing the thing where it's like, oh, well, Pod showed he's really good. Okay, I'll play him more. Moody showed, yeah, he's good. He'll probably play a lot more on Saturday. I'm like, I can't really fault Kerr too much for like things like that because ultimately his hands are tied. His best player.
Well, his hands aren't tied when he's playing four guys under 6'2". So he's got four guys at Andy's height.
Yeah,
trying to guard one of the biggest teams in the league. When we literally have watched him make that issue all game.
I'll give my guy a point here, though.
Thanks, fellas.
Appreciate it, man.
Colin.
Ultimately, if we're going to go with unserious rankings, only one of these guys is forcing the issues upon himself, and that's number 23. So,
you know, shit. You can't
if we're gonna break it, if we're gonna break it down to the most basic level, it's fair. It's fair. The problem is that guy's good. So,
I mean, that's why he's the most serious because he's the one that's actually when he's out there, he's very good. Versus Steve Kerr, it's really not that hard to play four dudes that can't get a rebound. It's really not that hard. It's fucking
annoying that Draymond, you feel more in need of him when he's not there. Where it's just very like, oh, you thought I didn't matter, huh? You know. Anyway, that's always been
year 10. Year 10.
You're 12, buddy.
Same. Well, I mean, at least he wasn't good for the first 2 years.
Yeah, he wasn't the man then. Ken, what's up, man?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
What's up? How you doing?
Hey, first of all, thank you so much for these therapy sessions. There's been some years where I've needed you, so thank you very much.
Hell yeah,
appreciate it.
It's feeling like this might be one of those years. And that's tough. Because it felt like, man, I was feeling... I was at the preseason game 2 years ago at Portland. I live in Portland. When Bjelica and Otto Porter came out there. Very first preseason game, and they're zipping the ball around. They looked like a San Antonio team in the playoffs, and it was the first game of preseason. And I was like, oh my goodness, this could be special. All of us Warrior fans, we've seen special enough times over the last 10 years. We got a pretty good idea what special looks like. And You know,
This is
hats
not
off to
it.
the front office and hats off to the coaching staff and the players. They have taught us what greatness looks like. They have. And what's frustrating is we're applying these lessons that they've taught us, and we're not seeing it right now. And it's driving me insane. You know, all these points other people are saying, they're all correct. Dario Saric, great player. I love him. I was here on the podcast watching you guys, so excited when we got him. And we know he's the right guy for this team. But you know what? He's one guy that needs to be out there with another big.
Yeah.
I'm on the pod right now, honey.
That's amazing.
My wife's
That's
upset at me. This is hilarious.
Nice.
I gotta calm
Nice.
down. So we know what it looks like, and thank God Mike Dunleavy's here instead of Bob Myers, because we'd be waiting to next year to make some changes. We got to make more changes this year. Dunleavy needs to get rid of the guys right off the roster so that Steve can't exhibit his loyalty. He's loyal. He's ride or die Steve Kerr. Trade him. Get him off the roster. Take the cards away so he can't play his ace. And I think that means Clay, and I think that means Dre. It's over.
Wow. Wow.
Love you guys.
That's
Thank you.
I appreciate
Appreciate
you,
it,
Ken.
man.
Thank you,
Wow.
Colin, anytime.
Let's go.
The one thing I'm gonna push back on is, so Ken may be right on Clay. I think he's right on the
I
big
needed
picture.
that call.
I think he's 100% right on the big picture. I'm not ready to say that about Draymond yet. I'm not.
I think what he's trying to. I know, but I think what he's trying. People are tired of the fuckery.
Yes. Well,
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. If you want to get down to like the essence of the call, you are correct.
Oh, just Draymond. Were you? I know we talked about this, but were you really? You saw the Woj notification come on last night. Were you like, oh God, like this is really bad for the Warriors, or were you just like, oh well, you know what I mean? Like I looked at it and I was just like, all right, well, you know. Point, right? About
Sure.
Draymond.
True.
It's like, oh, fucking guy, man. Come on, man. Team's gonna be 6-6, gonna be 500.
Now
And
they're going to
you
be 6 and
just-
10, 7 and 10 at best.
And they will
that-
be. They will be. They will be. They're gonna lose again on Saturday night. Steph's not playing. Rockets are on a roll, so maybe Steph comes back and rescues them there. But I mean, this is a rough schedule, man. Great call though, huh? The vibes on Ken, my guy.
Ken's vibes are elite. The Warriors vibes are not elite. So that's where we're going to leave it right there.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right, let's get Eshaun up here.
Oh, I thought we were done. All right, let's keep it
We
moving.
got another 50 to get to. No, just kidding.
Look at Eshaun's school portrait picture. Look at that.
Eshaun's a regular. He's been through a few shows. I gotta get him up here. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What are you studying for? Are you in college or are you?
Nah, I graduated. I'm just in my bed. I was feeling a little under the weather today.
I feel under my
Is
weather
that-
watching this fucking team.
Yeah, man.
This is-
These games are really hurting me. I'm not gonna lie. I hate seeing my boys lose, and I love like that you guys give an opportunity for fans to just like kind of like let us vent. And I'm just kind of like you guys said, like I'm just upset with just the seriousness and. You know, like we know Clay. I'm not gonna, like you said, I'm not gonna get on that. Like he's done. Like whatever. I'm more mad at Steve Kerr, and I'm just like, where is the structure? There's no discipline. There's just nothing, and it's just the same repetitive mistakes. And I'm wondering what you guys think of his future in Golden State. I feel like it's his last year, and then I'm also kind of just looking at the second option debate. The second option debate is really important to me, and it's something that I've been harping on since 2022 finals. And to me, that finals performance by Steph is aging better and better and better every day that I watch this
Oh
team.
yes, yeah.
And I'm like, all my fears are coming true. Like that, while I was watching that series, I was like, holy shit, Wiggins is 29% from three. We got away with that. Holy shit, Clay's not making shots. Like what's happening? And Draymond looks finished some games. Like it. And it's just like now I'm like, wow, like I hate to be right about some of those things. And it's just like I was watching some highlights from last year, like the comeback we had against Portland, and I was like, damn, Jeremy Grant is a better second option than what we have right now. And I was like, and I don't respect him as a player at all. And it's like I sometimes, and my last question is like, what do you think Steph is thinking when he watches these games? Like, he is 35 years old. He wants to stay in the league as long as he can. Is there ever going to be is he too loyal to a point where Clay is going to be here and Draymond's going to be here and they're going to make that money, which doesn't allow us to get the pieces that we need? Because at the end of the day, like I haven't noticed any slippage from him. And obviously this roster is not good enough. And do you think that Steph would ever request a trade? And some of those things, I just wanted to get your guys' thought on that.
Whew, that's a lot there. I do think the most interesting thing here is because like Steph is very loyal to his guys. He'll never throw Clay under the bus. He'll never throw Draymond under the bus. Draymond specifically, he could, like just the volume of like antics, right?
Yeah.
I think he has to be looking at this roster and being like, at some point it's got to come around. But I think we're still too early. My personal opinion is Wiggins has played too well over the last 3 years for us to throw him under the bus after 13 or 14 games. Even though I personally don't feel optimistic about him, I know like someone like Steph's going to be like, guys, it's like it's a month. It happens. Like
I know exactly what Steph is thinking. Exactly.
Okay, go for it.
He's sitting here and he's going, we're 6 and 7. They're going to be 6 and 8 and 6 and 9. Yeah, 6 and 8 by the time we come back. He's going to go, all right, well, Clay's going to shoot better when I'm there. Draymond gets some better looks. Wiggins is going to come out as funk in the next 5 games, and I'm going to be back, and Draymond's going to be back. Then we're going to get on a roll. Like, that's exactly what he's thinking. I don't think that he's sitting there panicking. He's not ever one to do that. And I think it's obvious in this dude, James Wiseman, you may have heard of him, who Steph didn't say that he needed to be off the team until 2.5 years in. And I think that really explains the patience. And that's a guy that was terrible from day one and then never proved anything in the league. And
there
Steph
wasn't
there
there
for
weren't
2.5 years.
There weren't minutes where I was like, oh, it's turning a corner.
And Steph was like, and Steph was bought in until the trade deadline where he was just like, dude, I can't fucking do it.
Yeah, he was just
when
like,
you guys are at work, do you guys ever just like, you're like, damn, I'm doing a lot of work here and I'm getting no help? Like that play that he got injured on, there's 3 people on him. Like at some point he's like, man, I'm 35.
Not how he thinks though. Yeah.
I'm 35. Like the dudes are falling on me.
Well, I think the bigger way to look at it is, look, man, they're not going to make a move before the deadline anyway, right? So it's like, I think Steph's going to be bought in for another 2 months. And then if we get to, let's say 2 months from now, January 16th, and they're still playing like this, then it'll be like, Mike, do something.
Why
and
wait
I
till
might
the
not
trade
be so
deadline, though?
Well, one, who's okay, so Zach LaVine might get moved beforehand. Do you want him?
No, but I want to ask, like, why, like, in the NBA, like, if you see the problems, like, this is not going to get fixed. Like,
but why do trades not happen in baseball till the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Like it's a leverage play. It has
but I'm
everything
scared that
to do
we're going to
with
be underwater, like, by the time the trade deadline comes. Like, we're going to
totally fine. But like the selling team is not really going to, like, if I'll put it this way, if you call Masai Ujiri and say I want Siakam, he's gonna be like 4 first-round picks. And like you and I both know that's a bullshit offer.
Yeah,
He's just trying to see how desperate you are on November 16th. So, but in 2 months, then we can have an honest conversation. So I think you just kind of have to wait it out a little bit. Like I think that's actually uncontrollable is my perspective.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
It is frustrating. All right, Ishan, appreciate you, man.
See you guys.
Moving. Oh, Andy, I think we should go. I think we should call it a night. I think it's time.
You guys on Saturday?
Everyone get a good night's sleep. Go watch 2016 Clay versus Oklahoma City. We'll be back.